Some brands are born to do the same. And during the times of challenge, the stalwarts of the Indian real estate industry have chosen to do just that. By showing others the way to finding opportunities even amidst a crisis. By showing the world how to go about delivering on promises even amidst adversity. Success doesn't just happen. It happens by design. By pushing the boundaries, by raising the path. It takes days to develop a vision and nights to make it a reality. Knowing that pictures are worth 1,000 words and that every word makes a difference. It's doing the research, trusting your instinct, and finishing what you started. For the past 20 years, Realty Plus has been turning obstacles into opportunities, keeping the industry informed on the latest developments. Innovating to inspire debates and discussions. Bringing forth the perspectives of the industry leaders. Honoring hard work and achievements. Keeping the industry connected. This is what we are built on. This is what we are building. We are Realty Plus, and we lead the way.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this special curtain raiser discussion of the 5th edition of the Realty Plus Women Icon Conclave and Awards 2025, proudly brought to you by Realty Plus. I'm Sapna Srivastava, editor of Realty Plus magazine, and I'm delighted to be your host today as we set the stage for what promises to be one of the most meaningful and empowering events of the year, taking place on May 29th at Novotel Mumbai International Airport. This year's theme, Leadership Changing the Power Paradigm, reflects a shift through the lens of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And to set the tone for this landmark event, which is the 5th edition of the Realty Plus Women Icon Conclave and Awards 2025 on May 29th, we are joined today by an inspiring trio of women leaders who embody that very shift. So let me begin by introducing our esteemed panel members. First, we have with us Dr. Ananta Raghuvanshi, founder and chairperson, Naredco Mahi. She's a TEDx speaker. She is also former executive director, DLF, chief executive, MRMGF, senior director, DEMAC, and senior executive director, Experion, and amongst the few icons in the Indian real estate industry for almost 35 years, who at Mahi is now promoting the cause of improving gender parity in real estate sector. Next, I introduce Fancy George, CEO, Thomas Workspace Design, who has over 3 decades of experience in the design and execution of large-scale corporate office campuses and sustainable projects. She is also the founding member of WireNet, a registered not-for-profit society that promotes gender diversity and inclusion in the real estate and construction industry. Let me also welcome Serena Menezes, Head and Vice President, Brand Marketing and Corporate Communication Head at Oberoi Realty. She has over 30 years of experience in marketing, integrated brand building strategies, and customer-centric operations by mobilizing high-performance teams and uniting brand building with demand generations. So thank you all for being here with us today. We are truly honored to have your insights and voices as we explore how women are redefining leadership across industries. So first, Fancy, we are not able to see you. My first question, when we are talking about this entire Realty Plus Woman Icon Conclave and Awards and doing this precursor discussion, we have come a long way in terms of participation of women in society and in workspaces. Do we still need these events and discussions? I would like to know the views from all of you. Anantaji, starting with you. Do we still need to discuss these things? Do we still need to hold these events?
Sapna, 100% we need to discuss it. At least for now, we need to discuss it because we are so few women in real estate. And like Serena and I were having this conversation a little while ago, it's not that women don't join real estate. There are a lot of women who do join real estate, but some way they get lost in the journey and either they drop out because of various reasons or whatever, but they are missing from the corner offices. They don't have that seat on the table. And if their voice is not heard, that's a very unfortunate situation to be in. And therefore, in fact, as chairperson and founder of Naredko Mahi, my main purpose to start with was gender integration in the real estate sector. The other things just happened by the way, whether it was water saving or the dolphin tank incubator for startups or whether sustainability, those are things because we managed to get those 150 women who were willing to do pro bono work and help others rise. Just as Abraham Lincoln said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. So we are trying to create it. But real estate must have 50% women. Wherever there is a woman driving things, they bring a very refreshing perspective and strategy on the table. So that's really needed. Not to say that men are not doing a great job; they're doing fantastic work. But it's just that we are made differently. We think differently. There are certain sensitivities, and there's certain micro details which are so essential. And we must have this discussion till we reach 50%.
Yes, indeed, the diversity of voices will make decisions even more reasonable, even more fruitful. Serena, what do you have to add? You are part of the real estate. You are on a CXO level. How do you see? Do we still need these discussions? As Anantaji said, we still need that 50% women in real estate.
So firstly, Sapna, thank you for having me. It's really a privilege to be here on this panel. And welcome to all our audiences who are listening to us. I hope you will be greatly inspired that all this that has been discussed today. So I must share that my career can be divided into two parts. I actually come from the hospitality industry. So I divide my career into pre-COVID and post-COVID because pre-COVID I was in the hospitality industry and post-COVID I moved to prime real estate, both very heavily male-dominated industries. It has taken the hospitality industry quite a journey to get more women. And even when I was on the leadership team working in the hospitality industry, the fight was for to have more women in leadership roles. And I think over a period of time, they have achieved that. We see a lot more gen managers who are ladies now, who are leading, and a gen manager is like a CEO of a particular unit. So you see a lot more ladies there now, a lot more ladies leading large teams of men in the hospitality industry. And we used to always say that, a woman adds a different touch. The hospitality in any home comes from a woman. So why don't we have more ladies there? And that's great to see. The real estate industry in India has evolved over a period of time. We're fairly a young industry, fairly young corporate industry. And I am very confident that will happen. women need just two things: encouragement and motivation. So these events, or these events that you put together, and attending these events are great opportunities to interact with women who inspire, women who motivate, women who encourage other women to stay. It's not possible on an everyday basis because there are work pressures, you're juggling home, children, family. So this becomes a great opportunity for people to pull, for the girls to pull out of their everyday work life and
Right.
attend these opportunities where they can see that, if somebody else can do it, I can do it as well. Also, it's a great opportunity to share journeys. I know, I mean, today we have a workforce of the baby boomers, the Gen X, the millennials, I mean, the Gen Zs, and now the alphas coming in. So there's so much that has happened, especially in a country like ours, which today I would consider our country as an aspirational country. So the women have aspirations as well. They also have moms who have been educated. So they are also encouraging their girls to pursue a career. They are marrying boys who are also happy to have two, financial incomes coming into the household. So why can't we do more of that at the workplace? A society culture influences the business culture. And I think this will happen. It's just a matter of time. The girls
Right.
also can't be suddenly pushed into a leadership role. They have to be mentored, they have to be empowered, they have to be trained. All those things come over a period of time. So a little patience, a great amount of motivation and encouragement will really help us see more women and in leadership roles in India. I'm very confident.
That's right. That's right. You correctly mentioned these events are like a source of motivation, sharing journeys, and most importantly, networking. Because
Yeah.
women somewhere they, yeah, are not very networking people, so it becomes, a more networking. Fancy, you have a fantastic wire net, which is more like a, networking platform for women. So, do we need these platforms? Do we need these events? Do we need to discuss about, as Serena said, we still need more women in leadership. We are going there, but still a long way to go.
Again, thank you, Sapna, for having me on this platform. You and Tripti are doing a wonderful job of getting a lot of us women together. Great to be on the same platform with Dr. Ananta and Serena, who I know from college. We're doing well together. So now the thing is that, I just remember a few years back. It was not even, it's not few years anymore. Now it's like almost 8 years back. We were in this platform, a very, very known real estate platform, and we were all there watching the stage, okay? And panel after panel, people coming and going, and we're like, there are no women. There were no women on the platform, right? So we were like, okay, there's something wrong with what is going on here. So I remember I was just looking around the room for, empathetic people, people who were thinking like me. Some 7 of us, 8 of us kind of found each other during lunchtime and said, something's wrong. We need to change the status quo and we need to do something about it. We got together and this was that started about 6, 7 years back. We're like, okay, we need to really seriously dive into the problem, and we really need to brainstorm what the way forward for this kind of a situation is, because it's not like there weren't many capable people. There were enough, but I think for some reason, because that's what it was, that's the norm. So you really have the same set of people on stage all the time. So we had that conversation. We launched our platform around 3 years back. There are 7 of us, and we're all from different parts of the industry. Like, for instance, I'm a workplace architect, and 30 years in the industry, and I was one of the senior leadership of a very large architectural firm, one of the largest in India. And I was one of 13, and I didn't know there was something wrong till I looked around the room one day and said, what's going on here, right? So, and then, the others in our platform, there are 7 of us. They're all from the real estate and they're directors in the real estate industry, right? There's Srinitha, who's part of Broadcom, there's Lala, who's part of Salesforce. They're like, very senior level. So we said we have to change. We started the platform. Oh my God, the kind of, the response, the feedback, it was like almost like, oh, we can breathe. There's oxygen in the air, you know. Everybody's like so excited about coming forward and actually discussing real issues. You know, so yes, platforms like this are so necessary. Not, you know, it's for the fact that I think there was always a problem, but now people are getting a lot more aware that they need to change the status quo.
Right. The anonymous, I think the answer is that yes, we need to keep doing things, keep connecting, keep bringing women in the limelight, what the work they are doing, and probably provide a networking platform. As Fancy rightly said, there are so many capable women who are doing great work, and we still don't know about them. That becomes a platform for everyone to connect. In fact, one of the persons, they had thrown this question to the media, to me only, that why does media, she was an architect, she said, me and my husband both are architects, but why does media always send invite to my husband? I am doing the equal work, I'm equal this thing. So that's a mindset even probably people in media also need to change. But my next question is that we always say men are the problem, they have rigid mindset, etc. But if men are the part of the problem, they are also part of the solution. So how can men become allies when we are talking about changing the power paradigms in workspace, especially, or in society? Sarina, let's go with you. How they can become part of the solution.
Yeah. So in the last 5 to 8 years, I've seen a lot of women entering the workforce because the girls are very educated, highly educated now. And that's great to see, very, very encouraging. Unfortunately, and that paradigm is changing, the girls are changing, they're understanding that they have to have a work-life balance. They're understanding that if I want this, I need to balance it. So women have this thing of bringing home to work, and men have the thing of taking work home. So you need to somewhere, so we tell the men at home saying, you are working even when you're at home. So we need to tell the girls that you need to also make sure that you don't bring home to your workplace. Enjoy the 9 hours that you're here. You are going to go back to those issues at home, but you need to have that work-life balance has to be this. I think that's changing. So the girls are understanding that if I want this, if I want it all, then I have to maintain this balance and make sure that when I'm here, I'm here. When I'm there, I'm there. Unfortunately, I think the men haven't changed. In the
Completely
last
agree.
5 to 8 years, and I don't blame them because they come actually from the baby boomers or the millennial and the Gen X generation. You're seeing that moving now, and a new set of leaders coming up in terms of the men. And you see a lot of men supporting women because they support their wives at home as well with their careers. So I think they can be definitely great allies if they understand the value that the women bring to the workplace. The other thing is, like I said earlier, power can be destructive. So power has to be channelized in a positive manner. And if that happens, that would really change the whole paradigm for the women as well, and for them to understand that their voice can be heard. But the women also have to do enough. You have to work on your personal branding, where you just give an example of why her husband gets invited and she doesn't. Has she done enough for her personal branding? Has she done enough to say that, listen, I am a very talented woman who can add value to any business? I see a lot of women diminishing themselves. They are okay with being at the back, okay with their husbands being in the front in that particular career. We have a couple who are heads of architecture at Realty, and Shilpa is happy to be at the back, you know. But I think you need to do a lot as well, and not to feel diminished in the boardroom. So what if you got it wrong? So what if you you shot your mouth off, or you made a mistake? That's all right. So I think we need to say that we don't know it all. We'll try. We'll take up the challenge. But I want to grow. I want to grow into becoming a leader. And that can happen when men also see that as a positive thing.
That's correct. That's very rightly said. In fact, one of the HR persons had, shared the same sentiments that when we get, women doing their self-appraisal and, men doing their self-appraisal. First thing, the difference is that if women have done 100%, they will say 80%, 60%. Men do it 80%, they will say 100%, they will exaggerate 200%. So women have to, you have to blow your own trumpet, like you said, you have to, and probably you might go wrong sometimes, but you have to bring yourself in the front lines. Anantaji, one way, Serena has already mentioned that men can be great allies, but women also need to, bring themselves self-branding, as she said. They need to bring yourself in forefront, take the risk. What could be, your suggestion, one key actionable way to build the new power paradigm between both men and women at a workplace? What could be that one actionable way?
Sapna, I think you should not be asking me that question because you are an ambassador for women. What is that one thing? I remember when I was on the crossroads of middle management, and senior management to top management. And I remember I received your scroll of honor and various other things. You put me in touch with a image building coach, and what was she calling me? Brave and beyond. These are phrases I never associated myself with, right? As far as, what Serena just said, I'm a culprit in her eyes because I've never had that work-life balance. For me, it's always been life. And if at that point my work demands that I send messages at 2 a.m. at night, or I'm sitting at the airport at 6 a.m. in the morning, I will reply. I'll never carry the work forward to the next day. So in that sense, I'm quite like a man. And but it's not that I'm always like that. It's how the situation demands at that point of time. You have to prioritize. Your work should not suffer, your family should not suffer. You want it all. So if you want to be happy, it is all about your life. What is making you happy? And how are you balancing your time? So if you can manage your time and you can do continuous learning and listen to feedback, not all feedback that comes to you is directed at you to kind of pull you down or something. That introspection will do wonders for you. I think that is where, even if I'm mentoring someone, she spoke about mentoring. When I'm mentoring someone, I have to choose my words so carefully because they'll start judging me rather than introspecting themselves,
Right.
So it is, you are a leader. You're a leader doesn't mean that you are a bully or you are, aggressive or you're this thing. एक काम होना है, वो काम कम से कम time में और best तरीके से कैसे हो सकता है? In our workplace, we have to leave all our other hats behind,
That's right.
So on one side, when you're dealing with your juniors, you have to be that empathetic leader. When you're dealing with the industry, you have to be that leader with integrity, that she can take us through this thing. And when you are dealing with your seniors, please think of everything they are telling you. You are forming those opinions, and that is why all that is coming to you. So it's you ultimately it's all about EQ. Like she said, पढ़ाई लिखाई तो सबने सेम की है. Everybody is so well educated, everybody is so affluent, everybody is so well traveled. That's why they are where they are, Sapna. But with that, if you combine a little bit of tadka of that EQ, you can really do wonders for yourself. I'm still learning. Last week also, I joined a leadership program. I'm still learning. So
That's right.
something or the other you will learn, which will make you a little better than what you were 2 days back. That is essential to grow. If you are ambitious and you wish to grow.
That's right. I think correctly, very nicely put. It's not about men or women. It's about the leadership qualities, which are, same to everyone. Fancy, but a lot of time women in workplace feel the pressure to conform to male-dominated leadership norms. We need to dress up like men, wear trousers and jacket and coat.
Yeah.
That's a very small example, but women feel that pressure that we have to be like men. Ananta ji spoke about empathy, which is one of the biggest virtues of being a woman. But women feel I have to be very strict, I have to be very this because that's how men leaders are. Do you think that is there or it's changing?
No, I
You're
think
asking Fancy, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
you can add to it, of course. Yeah,
you
Fancy.
should add to it. Yeah. So now I'll tell you, there is this saying where, they're talking about the fact that when you're invited to a party, are you invited to dance? Right? If you're invited to dance, then they're being inclusive. But if you're going to sit there and watch everybody else dance, you're not being inclusive. I think that's what we're seeing in a larger way
That
in a
that
lot of
sums it
these.
up. Yeah.
Pretty much, because what is happening is like, you don't want to be checking, ticking off some check boxes saying, yes, there's like this way, equal number of men and women. Okay, now we're all set and go. But who's that person with that voice to speak? And the other big thing, like, both Dr. Ananta and Sarina was mentioning is the fact that women also have to push yourself. Of course, the first thing they're going to do is like try and judge you out. But don't, you gotta speak out and you've gotta like have a voice in that room, and it's totally up to you. And I think that is a bigger issue. That you tend to kind of pull back. You have to say something, but you're kind of looking around the room and saying, should I? Should I? And then, you should. You speak up at those points, okay? And very recently there was this awards when this woman just stood up, a very leading actress. She got an award and she said, who I want to thank first? I want to thank me. That's the
Oh,
first thing we
nice.
gotta do.
Hmm.
And second, push yourself. That's the bigger thing. Don't look around the room. And this applies to anybody, right? You have to push yourself.
So one thing
It's done.
that we need to learn from our men compatriots is that take risk, speak up for yourself, and put yourself in limelight, and start branding yourself. So these are the lessons that we
Absolutely.
can learn from our men peers. Uh, Mentorship, all have spoken about mentorship. How important is mentorship? The mentor could be anyone, but how important is mentorship for female professionals? Sarina, if you want to, you mentioned hospitality. Now you're seeing a lot of difference there. So
Yeah.
how important is mentorship?
Yeah. So definitely, I mean, I always say that we are where we are because somebody gave you an opportunity. Your talents, your experience is not enough. You have to be able to interact with people or probably find that mentor who sees the potential in you. Sometimes we can see only that much, but somebody higher above you can see much more, can see your potential. um, a mentor should not be from your organization, ideally, because there is always a vested interest where that is concerned, because of performance and productivity and things like that. So choosing a mentor should always be outside of the workplace if you can help it, because you will share some personal struggles as well. And you don't want to share that in the office environment and with your immediate senior sometimes. And like I said, it will be the advice will be very biased. So finding a mentor for the mentee is very important. And and it is the responsibility of the mentor to make sure that you're always guiding, leading, but not really advising. Because I think those decisions have to be taken by the individual themselves. And I think it is very important because at some point of time, you do need that encouragement, that little push, that a little um, word of advice that's, if things go wrong, it's all right. Keep at it, keep at it. Recently, when I was doing an appraisal of one of the girls in my team. She's a young girl, very young, 25, 26. She asked me a very poignant question, and I really applaud her courage to ask me that question. She said, have you always been so thick-skinned? And and I said to her, I've grown that skin over a period of time. It's taken years and years to grow my skin so thick, where now I don't get affected by anything that anybody says to, discourage me or to pull me down or to kind of challenge me. You just have to take it with the spirit of that person has a problem, not me. So I think this is a tenacity you build over a period of time, and if you have a good mentor in your life, who you can always go up to and share your struggles. It's not always family. Family will be biased. Your husband,
Right.
your husband will say, "Oh, forget it, leave the job, stay at home. We can find other avenues." Sometimes you should not quit. You should really stay on for all that you worked hard for. It is very easy to quit, very, very easy to quit, but it takes a lot to keep that skin growing thicker. I think that's all I can say.
Fantastic. Two tips from Serena for everyone who's watching. One is to have a mentor outside your workspace, outside your family, who can guide you but not advise you. The decisions have to be yours. And secondly, do develop a thick skin, because and it will happen over a time if you don't quit. So great, advice from Serena. Now, before we close this session, uh, according to all our speakers here, individually, if you can let us know, what one or two systems that we need to change for women to get equal space at the table. When we say they have to be in the boardroom, they have to be at the decision-making table. What one or two things that you think we need to change in the current situation? Anantaji, what do you have to say? One thing or two things you would like to change?
देखिए जो चेंज करना है वो विमेन तो परफेक्ट ही है. That's why they are coming here. They have the resilience, they have the tenacity, they have the qualification. तो जो change करना है वो थोड़ा सा, I think the men have to get used to having the women around. तो बेसिकली जो कहते हैं ना कि आपने अपने बारे में जानना है तो ना पीर से पूछिए ना फकीर से पूछिए, सिर्फ अपने जमीर से पूछिए. So I think there has to be an environment in an organization where microaggressions don't happen. You've not said anything to the woman, but still you've said a lot in your sentences. And that is very disturbing from time to time. So if those microaggressions don't happen, which, मैं तो मजाक कर रहा था, तो मजाक में बहुत कुछ हो जाता है, and a lot of it happens, and it's very disturbing for the women. It's nice that she said कि skin grow कर लिए, पर जरूरत ही क्यों हो skin grow करने की? आप इतने comfortable होने चाहिए जब आप work place में आ रहे हैं. You should own that place. Why should you be conscious that, someone can say this to me or someone can say this to me? You should be comfortable. You should walk in like a queen. Sherni aa gayi. That is the walk you should have if you want optimal performance from the lady. So I think the men just need to get used to having those women around. That yes, just look beyond the face value, see the place value, see the brains. Forget कौन man है कौन woman है, काम करो यार. Ultimately target पे ध्यान रखो, goal पे ध्यान रखो, छोटी छोटी बातें छोड़ो. I think that sensitization is needed.
Very rightly said, micro.
तो अलग लगता
Very
ही है ना.
rightly said, Anantaji, microaggression, which people don't even take notice of. मैं तो मजाक कर रहा था. Something like, sentences like that can demotivate women in a long run, and make them uncomfortable as well. And people don't realize it, that how these passive aggression
And yes, चुप
statements
रह
can.
girls चुप रह जाती हैं सपना. You should say
Correct.
क्यों कर रहे थे? हम तो आपसे मजाक नहीं करते. क्यों कर रहे थे?
Correct.
That
Correct.
is missing in women. So in men, that part, and in women, that part, baki, it's all good. Everyone is there
Correct.
to make a life, and everyone should succeed, both men and women. We have to go hand in hand.
That's right. So
है ना?
fantastic.
गाड़ी के आगे
one
पीछे
thing that
सारे
is
पहिए चाहिए. So
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल चारों पहियों पे गाड़ी चल सकती है. So that is the change we need in our workplaces and in society as well, I'm sure. Fancy, what would you say would like to change in the current scenario if you want equal space for both?
I think there should be some sort of a metric that measures leadership in the first place, because really speaking, what has to be written into that metric for measurement has to be how flexible you are. And how are you like taking care of, the workplace considering all aspects? So literally speaking, there has to be some metric for measurement for emotional quotient. So they have to be kind of basis. That's I think the biggest systems change. And evaluating impact, not just visibility, right? So you have to like consider what is the impact of a person. Doesn't matter as a man or woman or whatever, but who is actually doing that? That measurement has to be done right. So over and
Right.
above what Serena mentioned, really speaking, I think this is the other aspect of it. Really, there has to be some sense of measurement that has to be coming into evaluating leadership at a very, senior level. That has to
Fantastic.
be done.
Fantastic. So emotional, probably, as you rightly said, we all talk about IQ, but EQ is becoming very important. Whether it is man, woman, even children, everyone is talking about that. Everyone has to be emotionally stronger. They need to have higher emotional quotient. And as you said, there has to be some benchmark. There has to be some metrics to measure at workplace. What kind of emotional quotient the leaders have. Serena, your last words before we conclude this session. What would you want to see change if we want equal space for both men and women at the table?
So I think if you want to see a change, the change has to happen on both sides. One is the women need to make efforts to make sure that there's change coming, and one is the leaders like us who are placed in such positions. So I think where the women are concerned, you have to also engage your family or your children in what you do. Go back home and tell them how you enjoy your work, how you get excited to do what you do. When you do something like this, the children also look up to you and see you that you are, mom is actually doing something really great at her workplace. And if you have a boy, I mean, he's growing up also seeing you doing that and respecting women right from that age. So everything has to be done from grassroots level. We look at all that we've spoken about today is what we need to do from top down. But are we doing things from a grassroots level? So you need to do that. And my children have never said to me or cried because I went to work. In fact, they would turn around and say to me, Mom, please don't ever leave your work. And I look at them and I said, yeah, I know why, because you're going to be up to mischief at home. So I think it's very important to ingrain that. And for women to also understand that if you want a seat at the table or if you want a seat in the boardroom, people are not looking for beauty queens on the board. There is this whole thing of we need to have 2, 3 women on the board. People are not looking for a pretty face in the boardroom. They're looking for brains as well. So you need to work on that as well. It's not going to happen automatically. You have to work towards it. I think that's what women need to do. Where we are concerned, where we are placed, I think you need to again work at grassroots level. I have a team of about 30 people. I've made sure that when I'm recruiting, there's an equal number of men and women that I have recruited in my teams. And another rule that I have in my team is that anyone can attend any meeting anytime. It's not restricted only to the brand marketing team or only to the digital marketing team or only to the performance marketing team. Anybody can attend any meeting, and you're most welcome to share suggestions or add ideas to what we are doing. And I think that's a very inclusive environment. And if you start doing that from the beginning and at the grassroots level, the men in the room also will learn to value ideas, suggestions, thoughts, even if it may sound silly, and to listen to them with respect.
That's very rightly said. I think, very important key points that have come from this discussion is, the changes required from both end. We can't say that only men are doing everything wrong or the workspaces are wrong. Somewhere women have to take charge. As Serena rightly said, at grassroots level, we need to tell our family, we need to tell our other extended family, we are doing this. So they do not see us only as wife and mother. They also see us that I'm a CEO, she's a CEO or a CFO or a manager. They know they are that. Like Fancy said, we need to have some kind of a metric where we can, the women need to be, start networking. The platforms are there. They need to start connecting with each other, learning from each other. Ananta ji said, there are a lot of indirect statements or aggressions that happen unknowingly or knowingly, because as Sarina said, that's how we have been raised, which needs to change if we want equal table for equal space for men and women at the decision making table. So that was truly an enriching session, and we couldn't have asked for a better way to open our soon to be coming up Realty Plus Women Icon Conclave and Awards. And this was just a snippet of what's going to be ahead. These are just few of the women leaders that we have today. But on May 29th, we are going to have almost like 30 women speakers who will be talking about very similar issues. We'll have very diverse opinions from them. So first of all, let me thank to all our incredible speakers who are there, eminent women leaders. I should not say women leaders, just leaders. You are leaders in your own way. It doesn't make a difference whether it's man or woman. But thank you so much for being here with us, joining us today, giving us your time, and sharing those very poignant, views with our viewers today, with our audience today. Thank you so much. And before we sign off, let me quickly remind you all, although I have said so many times already, the 5th edition of Realty Plus Women Icon Conclave and Awards 2025 will be held on ground for the very first time on May 29th at Novotel Mumbai International Airport, Mumbai. And just to inform you, all the nomination entries are in its last leg. So do check the link below if you would like to participate. And thank you once again, everyone who joined us today, our audience, our speakers, for being here with us today. We will continue this discussion on May 29th. But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fancy. Thank you, Dr. Ananta. Thank you, Sarina, for setting the
Sapna.
context.
Thank you, Tripti, and thank you, Realty Plus, and congratulations on your 21 years.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you for having me,
Thank
and
you,
I will
Sarina.
definitely
Thanks.
miss you all on the 29th.
Yes, next time.